My mother's voice cut through the lawyer's office like glass. "You owe us. We raised you." Her eyes were locked on the bank statement in front of her. 7 figures. Money she didn't know I had. My father leaned forward. His jaw was tight. "Half of this is ours. We gave you everything." I looked at them both. The people who called me a failure for dropping out. The people who laughed when I said I'd make it without a degree. Now they wanted in. How do you prove your worth to people who never believed you had any? I had proof. A folder 2 inches thick. Contracts, invoices, receipts they never thought I'd need. But first, let me ask you something. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop it in the comments. And hit that like button, because you're going to want to see where this goes. Let me take you back to where it started. Because the secret I'd been hiding was about to rewrite everything. I dropped out of college my junior year. Not because I failed. Not because I partied too hard. My grandmother was dying. Hospice care? 6 months, they said. She raised me when my parents were too busy building careers. Someone had to be there. So I left school. I moved into her spare room. I sat with her every night while she told stories about the family, about resilience, about building something from nothing. My parents saw it differently. When are you going to get serious? My father would ask at dinners. My sister would roll her eyes. Still no degree? They introduced me as the one who was still figuring things out. But while I sat in that hospice room, I taught myself to code. Late nights. Laptop glow at 2 in the morning. Free tutorials. Stack Overflow threads. Cloud architecture certifications I paid for with grocery store wages. My first freelance gig paid $500. I saved the invoice. The second paid $1,200. Saved that one too. A mentor from an online forum became a friend. He told me, let the work speak. So I did. 5 years later, I had a consulting practice. Corporate clients, infrastructure migrations, the kind of work that doesn't need a diploma, just results. And I kept every receipt, every email, every contract. I told myself one day they'll have to see. I thought staying quiet would keep the peace. I was wrong. The breaking point came at a cousin's wedding. My sister spent the cocktail hour talking about her MBA. My father introduced me to distant relatives as still figuring things out. I smiled, I nodded. I kept my mouth shut. Then my mother picked up my phone. A bank alert flashed across the screen. 6 zeros. Her face changed. "You've been hiding money from us?" She didn't whisper. Half the table turned. An emergency family meeting was called for the following Sunday. I showed up because I thought we'd talk. Instead, I walked into an ambush. "Family shares everything," my mother said. "What have you been doing behind our backs?" My father crossed his arms. "You don't have a degree. Where did this money even come from?" My sister leaned in. "Probably something shady. We deserve to know." I kept my voice level. "It's mine. I earned it." My father stood. "You'll bring your bank statements to the house this weekend. Every account, every transaction, or you're no longer part of this family." I looked at all 3 of them. Then I stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked out. The door slammed behind me. They wanted proof? Fine, but they weren't going to like what they found. The family group chat exploded. Aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. My sister told everyone I was hiding assets and acting shady. Then she filed a report. Financial elder abuse. She claimed I manipulated our grandmother's will. Took money that wasn't mine. It was a lie. My grandmother left nothing but photographs and stories. But the optics were bad. A detective called 3 days later. Calm, professional, chilling. "We'd like to ask you a few questions." Then my largest client saw the social media chatter. An email landed in my inbox. "We need to ensure reputational alignment. Your contract is paused pending clarification. $95,000 gone." I sat alone in my apartment. Stared at the folder on my desktop. The one labeled proof. Maybe I should just pay them off. Disappear. Start over somewhere else. But then I opened it. Every invoice. Every wire confirmation. Every late night I worked while they doubted me. I wasn't the problem. They were. I thought I'd lost. I hadn't. I'd just been playing the wrong game. I met the detective voluntarily. No lawyer, no drama. Just me and a binder. Receipt number 1. 5 years of invoices, Signed contracts with 3 Fortune 500 companies. Wire transfers. Tax returns filed and paid in full. Every dollar traced. Every cent legitimate. The detective flipped through the pages. His expression shifted from suspicion to irritation. This is cloud infrastructure work? Yes, migrations, architecture consulting. All corporate contracts. He closed the binder. You're clear. Your sister wasted our time. He stood, shook my hand, and left. I sat there for a minute. Let it sink in. I had the truth. Now I needed to make sure everyone else did too. I scanned the first 30 pages, sent them to my attorney with a single line. Prepare a response. I want this on record. My phone buzzed. A text from my father. We're waiting for those statements. I didn't reply. Not yet. Because that was just the first receipt. The next one would hit harder. They didn't apologize. They doubled down. My father's lawyer sent a letter. A cease and desist. With a twist. They were claiming I owed them equity. The theory? I'd used family resources to build my business. The home Wi-Fi. An old laptop they bought me in high school. Therefore, they argued I owed them a percentage of everything I earned. It was absurd. But it was also on legal letterhead. My mother went public. A Facebook post, long, emotional, painting me as secretive and ungrateful. She tagged every relative we had. It went semi-viral in our extended network. My phone filled with screenshots, questions, judgment. Then my sister launched a petition. She emailed it to cousins, friends of the family, anyone who'd listen. Hold my sibling accountable. 12 people signed it. She forwarded it to me with a subject line. See, everyone agrees. My mentor called that night. You need to go public with the truth, or this will define you. He was right. They wanted a war over money I earned alone. Fine. But I was bringing every receipt to the battlefield. My attorney filed a formal response. And attached receipt number 2, 4 years of rent payments, to my parents. Venmo transactions, canceled checks, all documented. I'd paid $2,400 a month for 48 months. Then there was my laptop, the one they claimed was theirs. Credit card statement, my name. Purchased 3 years ago. And the business address on every contract? Not my parents' house. A co-working space. Membership agreement attached. Dated 4 years prior? The kicker? A signed lease. Proving I'd moved out 3 years ago. I hadn't lived at home or used their resources in years. The equity claim was fiction. My attorney's cover letter was surgical. Claim fails on every factual premise. I sent a single text to the family group chat. No words, just a PDF, the filing. Every receipt, every timeline. The chat went silent. No responses. No apologies. Just silence. But I wasn't done. I still didn't know why they were so desperate for my money. Until I found out. A family friend reached out privately. Someone who'd known us for years. You should know something. Your parents refinanced the house, twice, to pay for your sister's MBA and a startup she launched last year. I asked how bad it was. They're underwater. $175,000 in new debt. Retirement account strained. Balloon payment due in 6 months. I cross-referenced. My sister's startup? Failed in 11 months. Her LinkedIn showed she was back to job hunting. The timeline clicked. The ask came right when the first major loan payment was due. My sister had told them I was rich, that I owed them for raising me, and they believed her. They weren't angry. They were drowning, and they saw me as a lifeboat they were entitled to. I sat with that for a while. Part of me felt something close to pity, but pity doesn't erase what they did. The lies, the public shaming, the legal threats. Now I knew exactly what to do. Not revenge, boundaries. I made 3 moves. First, my attorney sent a formal cease and desist, with a defamation notice for the Facebook post and the petition. Second, I contacted my former client, shared the legal filings, the detective clearance, the full timeline. They reinstated the contract within 48 hours. Third, I scheduled a meeting, one final family conversation, at my attorney's office. Mediator present. No yelling. No living room ambushes. No group chats. Just a controlled reckoning. I sent calendar invites to my parents and sister. The subject line was simple. Final family financial discussion, mediated. My father called. What is this? It's exactly what it says. You'll hear the truth once. Then we're done. He tried to argue. I hung up. My attorney prepped the dossier. Every receipt, every timeline, every lie cataloged. I booked the conference room for the following Monday. Professional, cold, final. I'd built something from nothing. I wasn't letting them take it, or me, down. Monday came. And so did the reckoning. The conference room was cold. White walls, glass table, a projector screen at the front. My parents sat on one side, my sister between them, my attorney, the mediator, and me. I arrived last, folder in hand. The mediator opened. We're here to address financial claims made by the family against the respondent. Respondent. That's what I was now. My attorney stood, clicked the remote. The projector lit up. Receipt number 1. Invoice 87. $14,000. Fortune 500 cloud migration. Click, rent receipt. Month 36. My signature. My parents' deposit slip. Click, tax return. Year 3. Every dollar reported. Every cent paid. Click, business LLC filing. 4 years ago. My name only. Click, co-working space lease. Signed and notarized. Click, final document. A timeline. Every lie they'd told, cross-referenced with proof. My father tried to interrupt. The mediator raised a hand. Let them finish. I stood. You didn't just give up on me without a degree. You gave up on me, period. And when I succeeded anyway, you tried to take it. My mother's face was wet. My sister stared at the table. I kept going. I know about the debt. I know about the startup. But that's not my responsibility. I offered help once. 3 years ago when Grandma died. You laughed and said I had nothing to offer. My father's jaw tightened. You were wrong. I slid a final document across the table. A boundary agreement. Drafted by my attorney. No contact unless emergency. No financial claims ever. Sign it or face a defamation suit. Damages calculated at $95,000 plus legal fees. The mediator explained the terms in flat legal language. My father signed first. Then my mother. My sister hesitated. Her hand shook. Then she signed. The mediator notarized each signature. 3 clicks of the stamp. It was over. I stood, picked up my folder, and walked out of that room lighter than I'd felt in a decade. Not because I'd won, because I was finally free. The weeks that followed were quiet. The family group chat stayed silent. No messages. No apologies. Just empty space where chaos used to be. My mother deleted the Facebook post. I blocked my parents and sister on social media, but I left the door open for genuine emergencies. Through my attorney, that was the boundary, the client who paused my contract. They became a long-term partner. The $95,000 project grew to $240,000 annually. I used part of that windfall to start something new. A scholarship fund for non-traditional students, people who left college for caregiving, for work, for survival, people like me. I named it after my grandmother. The website went live on what would have been her 85th birthday. The About page had one line. For those who chose care over credentials. 6 months later, an email arrived. From my mother. The subject line was blank. The message was short. I'm sorry. I hope one day we can talk. I read it twice. Then I closed it. Maybe one day, but not today. Forgiveness isn't required. Peace is. And for the first time in my life, I had it. Here's what I learned. Your worth isn't measured by a degree, or a title, or a family's approval. It's measured by the life you build when no one's watching, and the receipts you keep when everyone finally does. Boundaries aren't walls. They're foundations. And my foundation is solid now. So let me ask you, have you ever had to prove yourself to people who doubted you? How did it feel when you finally did? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. And if this story hit home, subscribe. Because there's more where this came from. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization. It's not legal or financial advice. If you're facing something similar, talk to a licensed professional in your area. But know this. You don't owe anyone access to what you built alone. Not your family, not your past. Not anyone, your work, your proof, your peace. That's yours. Thanks for watching.